Hello. So we're going to start our stream. David and I will. I'm Julian. David's out delivering medicine, but he'll be back and joining us shortly. So to start it, we're going to, I guess, start by doing some minis until he returns. We have some prepped up and ready to go to, but I guess we'll show the first steps of the hobby. These are Star Wars Legion minis. They come in nice little baggies if you get their newer ones. If they're on sprues, you just gotta clip them out. These ones are super easy and friendly to use. Shows you exactly where they all have to go. There's David. They're push to fit, which is really nice because you can just push them in, make sure they're facing the way that you want to face first. Here, I'll go ahead and switch over to David. There you go.
Nice.
I think I lift up your phone. Yeah.
Are we live on the right channel?
Mm-hmm.
You put it in the stream.
Yeah, I had Rob show me everything real quick,
Nice.
just to make sure it was up and running. So that's what they'll look like all pushed together. We glue them together still, even with push to fit, so they don't fall apart while you're painting them. So now I'll take it apart.
Nice. You ready to glue some of these guys?
Yeah. I glue a bunch of prime too if you want to start painting. Alright. So that will be his leg final one. And we can glue into the base. After doing that, you need to wait, let all the glue dry. We always recommend priming so that your paint sticks to the minis better, which is what we did with these. We just got a like a rattle can primer. We used White Scar from Citadel, but really any primer can work. It doesn't have to be that brand. It doesn't have to be white. We just found for Clone Troopers and Stormtroopers, which is what we decided to paint today for May the 4th. The white was the best because that's going to be the primary color you're painting on these guys, so it will really help with painting if it's already done. Like if your base coat is the same color as your primer. He's done. You can go and paint these. For the Clone Troopers, what I typically do is I'll start with giving them a wash with None Oil or any wash really. I like this one best because it's just like a black wash. A wash is just something that gets into the recesses, kind of darkens the paints a little bit. So I'll show you what that looks like. Let's see. So this is going to be a pretty dark wash, but as you can see, it gets into the recesses and does a lot of the painting for you in a way. So you don't have to be like as detailed. It adds a lot of depth to the model, which is always fun. And on Storm and Clone Troopers, it really highlights the areas that need to be black. They'll stay all white on the areas that need to be white. And it's just a lot easier to get into the recesses of the mini. This takes a second to dry, so you can always go in and wipe away the excess if you don't want that much on. I'm going to go back with a white paint and re-whiten all of his armor. So this is just to get everything in the corners.
You have the string pulled up?
I do not. All good. So give it a nice even coat all around. We'll go in with a black or a contrast paints into the recesses, such as under the armor where he has the black on the clone trooper would be. We'll wait for that to dry though, so I'll do that. I'll do a stormtrooper next. As you see, that immediately made his helmet look a lot better. So focus on this. There we go. And let's see. There we go. If you go too heavy with milliner oil, that's okay, because like I said, you can brush it all away if you're not liking it in certain spots till it dries. Get some more known oil on the plate.
mine's upside down.
My bad. There we go.
I gotta fix this.
Let's go. There we go.
Nice.
There we go. Now let's see. There. It'll zoom in. Let's get it centered. So that shows that Noah went into all the recesses. Missed a spot of his armor on his foot right here.
Yeah, the camera makes it show up really well.
Yeah, I like it. But we'll go over it with white again so it lightens it back up, but it'll keep all the black where it needs to be. It'll look a lot better, but we gotta wait for it to dry. And I'll go in and I'll do his visor. Feel free to grab any of these, dude.
Yeah, if you want to hand me a couple, I'll work this up. Thank you.
There we go. Here's a couple storm and a couple clones. There we go. And honestly, the stormtroopers after a known oil wash and the clones, they're almost like tabletop ready depending on your standards, so you don't have to be like any skill of painting at all if you want to paint them this way, put them on the board like that. Like, this is a super fast and easy way that we've discovered, and it's really fun. Because while playing these games is super fun, the hobby side of it, I find a lot more enjoyment, and it helps de-stress after work and stuff, so I love doing this. And I wouldn't say I'm good at painting at all, but they look satisfactory to our standards, and really, if anyone's painting, as long as you're enjoying while doing it, it doesn't matter what it looks like.
Yeah, and results is secondary.
Yeah. As long as you enjoyed it, that's what matters. And even if it's a bad paint job, anyone that's like playing against anyone that has any paint job,
I was gonna say
it adds a little bit more enjoyment to it.
a badly painted mini is still better than an unpainted mini.
Yeah. And if you like playing with unpainted one, it's fine too. But if you have any anxiety for like, you're worried if it won't be a good paint job and stuff, you shouldn't. You should just break into it, try it out. They have a lot of like easier ways to paint so that they'll look decent. Like I said, a lot of people would be totally fine with just the recesses on this painted on the board.
It's just the white scar.
Yeah, it's the white scar primer.
That looks really good.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of what we've painted before, we painted with the for the Star Wars, we painted with Wraithbone from Citadel, which is more of an off-white. So this is our first time using white scar, but it's a pretty nice white. Let's see if I have another mini to compare it to. Yeah, we have a couple of droids we can paint too.
Nice.
So they look fairly similar, but you can see this one's a tad more of an off-white.
nice thing about these guys is it looks really good really early on.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Lots of models I feel like go through kind of an ugly phase before they look good. But these guys are just really satisfying to paint.
Right. So while I wait for those to dry, I'm going to paint one of our droids. Dave's got a really nice. Oh, it's going pretty good. How about yourself? Oh, thank you for the follow. Let's see. This little buzzing noise that we have is we have a paint mixer, which I totally recommend because you have to shake up your paints a lot. We found this and it kind of instantly shakes them up for you. And whenever you hear that noise, that's just us doing that, fixing up that. So I'm gonna paint this droid in Agros Dunes from Citadel. It's a contrast paint. So contrast paint is just, it's kind of a really thin down paint, so it's a little bit more was it opaque, so you can see through it. Oh, we're a little hard to hear. Is that any better?
Yeah, we can just
Keep it in the middle. We talk louder,
yeah.
so that it picks it up easier.
Yeah, we have the mic in between us, so we may need to speak a little louder.
Yeah. This is kind of a transparent yellow. So it's pretty nice for the B1 Battle Droid color. Dave's got a really good formula that I like that he uses for his. That's a mixture of two paints. Basically what we'll do with this is we'll just cover the entire B1 Battle Droid. And this. And you'll see once I'm done with this, the Battle Droid's pretty much done. I like to go through with a dry brush afterwards, and I'll show what that is. After it's done drying, of course. And all it does is add a little bit of color variation. blasters, we'll go in with a contrast or black, whatever. So look around, make sure you got all those little white areas where the primer's on. So priming white's pretty essential if you're going to be using contrast paints, because anything that's dark is not really going to show the colors because it's so transparent. Another thing that some people do with contrast paints is they like to use like the slap chop method, which is you'll prime it black and you'll just dry brush on top of that. We found just leaving it white's actually really easy for like the droids and the clones, just because they're one primary color. But we like to paint a lot of like Warhammer and stuff, and Slapshot was super fun for painting like orcs or the Astra Militarum units. So let him finish trying. Go in and I'll go ahead and put a small coat on the next one.
Yeah, you see on this guy with these washes, you do want to be careful not to let it pool up. So you can kind of see right here. You can just tap it with the end of your brush and kind of soak it back up, because you really only want it in those deepest recesses. This guy's pretty chunky. I like him.
Yeah, so this is our first time painting the stormtroopers for Star Wars Legion. We painted a couple of clones and battle droids before, but we really like their models. They look pretty awesome. Thank you. Yeah, so painting miniatures is a really fun hobby. Like I said, it's a huge stress relief for me. Like, I really enjoy it. I was always afraid to jump into it, so before miniatures, like, I collected like Legos because I didn't have to paint any of those figures. But it was actually way easier than I thought, and it was a lot more fun than I thought it was. Like, I was very satisfied when I first started painting, and it's not as much of a skill gap as I thought there would be. There are, like, some people are just artists, masters of their craft, but be satisfied with what you're doing. You don't have to be at all. Like, I love doing things.
kind of see, sometimes this stuff will pool at the bottom, like especially by their feet. You can just kind of mop it up and wipe it off on a paper towel.
Yeah. The thing about contrast paints is that they're super duper runny, and that's why it does that, but very easy to fix.
So you can really tell on this guy. Big old puddle by his foot. And I'm gonna paint over the base anyway, so I don't really care that there's like known oil or black down there. I just don't want big puddles of it. Hello, the existential nerd. Hopefully everyone's having a chill Thursday evening.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, if we know the answer to it for painting, we'd always love to give advice. Or if you have any advice, you know.
I was gonna say, probably the other way around. Oh, the guinea pigs are fighting. 0 audio and you're maxed on audio.
Oh. Can you hear us a little bit better? It may just be because I'm leaning away from the mic.
Well, I know some people were saying we were quiet, but we should have some audio.
Yeah.
You may need to check, like, I don't know, your speakers or something.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, let us know if there's anything we need to do on our part to kind of boost our sound quality.
Well, not what I wanted at all. I wanted zoom.
The extreme close up, that was the mini. Our cameras just can't catch it.
Yeah, that's what they look like when they're painted. I'm gonna grab another metal tray for my.
For the mixing?
Yeah, so I'm gonna let you.
No, yeah, you're.
Do you want one? I like to mix the droid stuff in this.
I just went with the Agras Dunes because I'm going to do a dry brush on it because I like that
Nice.
dry matte finish that some of those had. And droids that I didn't really like that I had, I had a known oil wash on those. I kind of like a little bit of a brighter color for the droids. I like that sand color, makes them look a lot like the ones on Naboo from the first movie.
Do we have the yellow already out?
Which yellow?
At
This one?
Andon? Yeah.
Yes, there you are. And Skeleton Horde if you need it.
I got it. Or I got one.
There we go. So that's the droid color done. I'll go back in with the black to get the gun, or his rocket launcher. But that color for the droid, like, it's super easy. You can stop there. I'm gonna wait for it to dry and I'll add a dry brush because I like the look of it with the dry brush a little bit more than my colors without it. I am gonna go back in with no contrast on my brush and kind of pick up all the spots where the contrast paints were pooling. Oh, perfect. I'm glad that you can hear us now.
Alright, so I'm going to paint this droid. I like to make them a little more yellow.
Oh.
So we've got some Skeleton Horde contrast paint mixed like 2 parts of that to 1 part Iandon yellow, also contrast. Hey Sean. And then this is just, I don't know how to pronounce it, Lamium medium. It's just paint medium. So it thins the paint, makes it more translucent, but it doesn't water it down. So that's what we're using. see if I can get this to focus on my little mixing palette here.
Yeah, thank you, Sean, for introducing us to Misty Mountain, and giving us this opportunity to stream for them, because this is it's so much fun. I'm having a blast, and it's a great opportunity, and we really appreciate it. We'll have to have you over to come paint and stream with us sometime, Sean.
I just hit one of the other guys in the head. Back it up.
Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to dry brush on white onto these clone troopers to bring back their armor color, pristine white that we all know and love. Yeah, absolutely, Sean. You're welcome anytime. So what dry brushing does is I'm wiping off just the... Here, let's see if I can show it. Wiping off just the excess of paint on this makeup brush. You want something like really soft bristles to do this. And you can go in, and it's only going to pick up kind of on the raised areas, which is pretty much what we want. If it does too much to your liking, then you can always go back and give it another wash. So I got a little bit in his visor, but that's okay because I'm going to put a different color black on his visor. This does is brings back that nice white color that we like for their armor. You don't have to dry brush, but I like it because it leaves the shading in all the recesses very easily. As you can tell, it won't reach in between where his armor pieces are. Which is nice. Make sure we get them shoes. Absolutely. You'll come over. You can paint with us. Like I said, we have all the starting stuff. Yeah, we'll have a fun Saturday plan. Yeah, it'd be super fun. Let me get one of these stormtroopers. Him back. As you can see, I could add a little bit more to my brush, and I may, but leave it like that. Kind of does the edge highlighting and stuff for you if you like a little bit of a darker color with a little bit lighter of a highlight. So maybe you want your stormtroopers to be kind of, who knows, maybe they're on like an ash planet. If you want to leave it dark, I'm gonna bring in a white to make it brighter.
Oh, that looks great.
Yeah, but do it like that. Maybe a little hard. I know edge highlighting is something I still haven't completely mastered. It's pretty hard to do, but doing it with a dry brush is very easy and a very simple way to kind of get around that if that's like the look that you're going for. I do want a little bit more white on here.
See if my camera can zoom. There we go.
What am I doing? Cramping my hand. We have these. You can really use anything. Like David likes to use our paint. He'll put blue tack and we'll put the mini on that, and it just kind of gives you something to grip to hold it. Yeah, David's using his. I forgot to use mine. I was like, why does my hand hurt? And that's why. It's because I'm trying to hold this tiny little figure without anything to support. There we go. That's way more ergonomical. I may leave him like that for now. I'll probably come back and make him wider. I'm definitely going to put the black contrast where it needs to go. But I may see how I like that and then test it out on another trooper. I'll do clone trooper. I'll go pretty heavy on the dry brushing this time.
TL Holdren, hello. Alright.
You know, some models people recommend waiting to assemble them, but oftentimes if it's kind of a hard to reach place, like if you're picking up the mini, you'll be able to see his chest piece, but once on the board, it's going to be, like that. So I can get the top of his chest piece, but his stomach and stuff, no one's going to see, so you kind of don't have to paint that part.
You can tell in this guy, some of these dark recesses are still pretty glossy. Oh, these are being painted for May the 4th, Sean. This is for Star Wars Legion. We've actually never played the game. We just really like the minis.
Yeah. But now we have Rebels, Stormtroopers, or Rebels, Empire, Republic, and the CIS when we do play Sean. So we'll have 4 teams to pick from, like, the next time we come to town. Hopefully we'll have a decent amount of them painted. We'll have them all assembled so we can at least play it.
Plus, that's how we got started with Warhammer.
Yeah.
We started painting Warhammer before we started playing it.
Yeah.
We just liked the models.
Yeah, we're like, oh, these are pretty cool.
This guy's almost dry.
Nice. There is a white speed paint that I may try. I found it the other day. I took it out and then I put it away because I'm dumb.
It was on the table. I see runic gray. It's right here. Yeah, it's hard to see because it looks gray in the bottle until you shake it up.
Ah, perfecto. If that's like loud, you can let us know because we can mute our mic when we're mixing paint.
Yeah, it's kind of obnoxious.
Yeah. I don't know how it sounds in stream, but I don't want to give anyone a headache. I think we need to shake this a lot more, actually. Surprising, usually I don't have to do that one. That is pretty loud. Yeah, I'll just mute the mic real quick while I do that. There we go. I'll stop now. So, I haven't used this color yet, but I figured on some stormtroopers would be an ideal opportune time. And it is fairly dark.
T.L. Hodgson said, "I'm awake."
Yeah, it was pretty loud. Yes, that may be on us because we have the mixer on the same table we have our mic stand. That may just be poor
Yeah.
setting up on our part.
We put the mic on a different table so that if we bumped the table, you guys wouldn't have to hear it. And then we put our paint mixer on that table. So
Kind of
yeah.
counterproductive, but yeah.
We never claimed to be professionals.
Let's see. I think these droids are about done drying. So what I'm gonna do is we can either paint them black, Greylord Gray, which is a pretty nice gray. I do like it. And you can put more than one coat to get a darker coat. So I'm just gonna start with one coat of this. Is that the contrast black?
Yeah.
Contrast black's pretty good.
I feel like no matter how careful I am, I always miss a spot on these droids.
It's just really easy to notice when you're using contrast paints.
Like, how did I miss this guy's underbelly? And why won't my camera focus?
Yeah. If you zoom in, yeah.
Whoa.
No, man, it has to be at 1, I think, for the autofocus to work. And that's why mine keeps stopped, because mine keeps defaulting to not that.
I see. So this has to be at 1. Now, it'll autofocus. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, I don't know, it's kind of weird, but also makes sense. I just have to remember that.
Oh, I gotta get his chin and that little piece on his antenna. Okay. You can do it. Alright, I'm putting manual focus on. But this manual focusing. There we go. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
these little stands, yeah.
Yeah, so these ones are from Citadel, which is like people that make Warhammer, but there's a lot cheaper options. So like David uses sometimes if we've got a bunch of minis, so we'll just put them on top of the paints with some blue tack, and then you have the paints to hold.
Actually, if you hand me one, I'll show everybody.
Yeah.
They're right behind you. Oh, you got one in front of you?
The tack?
No, they're paints. Hand me that, like. So you can get like this cheap paint at like hobby stores. Some of these are like 50 cents a piece, and the paint is crap. Don't use the paint. But if you get the blue tack, which I'm using to hold my little paint pot here, this stuff. These things make great painting handles. You stick some blue tack on there, you stick a model on there, and then boom, now you got something to hold on to. And it costs like probably $1. I don't know how much do these cost from Citadel?
I think they're like $10 to $15.
Yeah.
So they're a little overpriced. I mean, not really, because if you enjoy it, it's whatever makes the hobby easier for you. Like I said, we get a use out of ours because we use them all the time.
But especially if you're going to be batch painting, and like all these guys I've got right here, if I was going to paint all these guys quickly, I'd have each one of them on a paint bottle like this.
Yeah.
With some blue tack.
Grab 'em
I've
and
only
put
got
the-
one of these.
Almost a little bit of his underside, kind of like. It's not super noticeable, but because I'm painting it right now, I notice it, so I'm going back and fixing it. Like I said, when these are on the table, you won't notice things. They're like the underside of his hand down here. Or that.
Blast him. Sorry, yes, sir. Right away, sir.
Yeah. So droids are super fun to paint because they're very, very easy.
Building them though?
Yeah, building them, it was pretty rough. Dave and I got super glue all over our fingers.
Oh my god.
It was really rough.
For some reason, plastic glue doesn't work, so you have to use the super glue.
Yeah. But clones, stormtroopers, basically everyone but the B1 battle droids have been super duper easy. I guess it's just the droids because they're so small and thin that it's quite an experience. I'm not sure I'd recommend it.
I think if you have issues with your blood pressure, stay away.
Yeah. It was pretty frustrating. I would recommend it because they're so easy to paint. I guess that's like where their difficulty side comes in. And having B1s is just like, I don't know. I grew up with this era of Star Wars with the prequels, so I absolutely love everything. That is, yeah, clones or that. Don't get me wrong, I love the Empire and the Rebels too. So I'm very glad that we got their starter set because I'm really excited to paint them. Oh yeah, that's great. Absolutely.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of different size bases, so you can kind of see, like, this thing has little clips on it. And so, like, there's a small base set here, and this expands, and, like, these little hooks right here hook over it. And then if you've got a larger one, it'll hook here and here. But also, blue tack on top of a paint bottle you can stick any size to it because it just sticks to the bottom. So
It's very nice, yeah.
what you need.
Do you know where we put the panel liner?
Check that top drawer. Did you try the white contrast on somebody?
I did. I did not enjoy it very much at all.
Let me see.
I put it on. I think I put it on this guy. So after it dried, you can't even really tell. It's a lot more of a gray, so it may be better as just a wash. Yeah, like I said, you couldn't really tell after it's dried.
Did you dry brush after?
Nope.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I dry brushed before, so I think it just kind of...
Came through.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad. It looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's not as white as I would like it. But that kind of makes sense that you're not going to have like a super white opaque, like, contrast paint.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty hard to do.
But, like, between these two... Come on. Focus! Where does it want? I give up. Manual focus. We're focusing close. Oop, there we go. Yeah, for a 3.5 inch base, you'll definitely want to blue tack that to something. 3.5 inches. You may need something bigger than a piece of paint. I've painted some really large figures.
You want me to grab one so you can see it?
Yeah, grab that. I can get it. I'm closer.
I'm
Alright. Yeah, hand me that shark. So I painted this guy. He's probably about the same size as what you're saying. Pretty large base. You can tell I didn't even paint the underside. But yeah, I think this guy, I ended up sticking him to the bottom of a red Solo cup with some blue tack. And that way I can hold on to this because he's kind of large. And depending on if your model is resin or plastic, it can actually be kind of heavy too. This guy was also done with oils, so he's kind of an experiment.
I thought it looked pretty good. I like that one a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I did his base with just acrylic black, but then like his skin and everything is all oil paint. Black beady eyes. I never have painted his hook. It's not supposed to be white.
You could do like a Wraith bone. I'll mute the mic real quick so I can shake this. There we go. So, I like to use this panel line for the visors because it's just like seeps in super easily. I think these are typically used for like Gundams. I've never painted any, but everyone recommended it. Like for Warhammer, they have the Tau, which are this alien species that typically have white armor, and it's really hard to paint like the gaps in the armor, and everyone recommended this. I was like, oh, these would be great for stormtroopers. It leaves kind of a gloss, so I only like it for the visors because I'm like, well, that's like a black ceramic type material. Let's see.
If we matte varnish it, it would all look the same.
Yeah.
But I agree. I like it for specific things.
Yeah. So I painted one clone trooper with a gloss varnish because I was like, oh, there's shiny armor. And why I liked it, I definitely did not like it as much as all the other stormtrooper or clone troopers that we did that did not have a gloss on them. I took a little bit too much off. You can just apply, that might be too much. You just apply a dot and it'll fill in the whole visor for you, which is nice. Like that. And I'm going to go back over this guy with more white paints just to give him more of a even look. Do you have the contrast black?
Yep. Grim black.
Yes.
You got the white.
I do. Here you go.
Any recommendations for painting something with a lot of deep undercuts? Yeah, thin your paints a lot.
I 100% recommend contrast paints. They go really well on anything that kind of has a lot of like ridges or anything that's not really smooth. It's like on Space Marines, I saw it not recommended. We painted a couple Space Marines where we liked the contrast paint still on them.
Yeah.
But I totally recommend. Maybe a slap chop would work really good on that because then it would do all of the kind of highlighting for you. So what you do is you'll prime it black and then just go in with a kind of a gray, dry brush it, and then on top of that do a wider one, and then when you put a contrast paint on it, it'll be like 3 different shades of color of like the same color, which is really nice. So I have actually an alien that I painted with slap chop. So that's it, just primed white. There we go. The figure comes just black like that, and then I just put a gray. This was only 2 colors. It was white, no oil wash, and then gray on it.
Yeah.
But it gives it a lot more depth than just being black, if that makes sense. So we have some better examples. I don't think I have any upstairs with us.
No, yeah, we took a lot of them downstairs, but this guy, if your model's anything like this guy has a lot of detail on him. And this was not painted with contrast paints. This is regular paints. Let me see if I can get this to focus a little closer. So the really important thing is make sure your paint is thin so that it can actually get into these recesses. So like, when you're painting, especially the skeleton, right? You want to paint the skeleton with a really thin paint. I came back with a wash to get these recesses really dark, and then when you come back to like edge highlight, when you're just touching these bones, you want it to be a little thicker. So paint consistency is really important too. The nice thing about contrast paints is you can ignore that altogether and just slop it on. I mean, that's why these droids, which they have a lot of undercuts, it doesn't look like it, but they really do. They get a nice shade
with just one layer of.
And technically, this guy's visor is an undercut. You can see the nice shading inside there. We'll have to fill that in with some black, and it'll have to be pretty thin. But yeah, so this is like a Space Marine. He's not even finished, but if you've got a complicated model like this and you don't want to use contrast paints, you're gonna have to thin your paints pretty good. So I don't like to dry brush these guys. I like to just come in with a really, really thin glaze of white and like build up some layers. So it takes longer, but I like the way it
looks a lot better, honestly. I went in with a dry brush, but I'm going to do the same thing David's doing with the white. That's how I did the last clone trooper that I did. I like the way it looked a lot better. It also gives the white a lot more vibrant of a look.
Yeah, you'll get a lot pure white. Let me see if I can show you guys, because the hardest thing really is learning like what consistency to make your paint. Let's see if this thing will focus. Okay, I'm gonna get the autofocus to actually work, but so like I've got a blob of just white paint right out of the tube. That's pretty thick. Here I've just taken some, tapped my brush to it, kind of put it off to the side, and I've got my jar of water here. I don't know if I can fit all this on the screen. Maybe I can lift this up a little bit. I'm going to get some water, and then I'm going to really thin this out. So I don't know if you can really see that on stream because the white is kind of blown out due to how reflective it is. I just got white on my phone. But you can kind of see it starts to pull back some. Actually may need to be thinned a little more. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. So I've switched to a much smaller brush too. And now I'm going to come in with this really, really thin white and just kind of like, make sure this is in focus. Glaze over this. And you're not even going to really be able to tell a difference at first. Oh yeah, these are all water-based. So these are acrylic. I think the brand is Vallejo.
Yeah. It's either... Those acrylic ones are...
Yeah, pretty much all... I mean, all acrylic paint is going to be water-based. You just thin it with water. And any paints that are like advertised for miniatures are going to be acrylic paints. That's like the most common. Even these contrast paints, anything Citadel makes, these are water-based. You know, they're thin, they're a different consistency, but they're water-based acrylic medium. Really, the only two types, you only got really three basic types of paint. You've got acrylic paint, you've got oil-based paint, and you've got No, what's the last? Enamel.
Enamel, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, watercolor is literally just a brick of pigment and you add water, and it's just the pigment in the water. There's no binder. But which is nice. They're non-toxic. You thin them with water, you clean them up with water, as opposed to something like this. This is an oil paint. So same kind of pigment, but different medium. These you have to thin with mineral spirits or turpentine or something like that. I can get my light to be. Yeah, you definitely can. So like I said earlier that these are crap paints and you should only use them for paint holders, but that's not technically true. Technically, you can use these to paint miniatures. They're just more difficult. So these are going to come out thicker, which means you're going to have to thin them more with water, and then that means that they're going to be more see-through, like translucent. And so you're going to have to do more coats to get a nice even coat. The reason that specialty miniature paints are really nice is because they come out a really good consistency, and the actual pigments themselves are ground up into smaller like particles, which helps prevent like a texture. I actually don't mind having a little bit of texture to the paint job. You'll see as I'm glazing on this guy, I don't always wait for the paint to be fully dry, and that when I go to paint the second layer, if this isn't fully dry, it'll actually pull up some of the underlayer and it gives me a little bit of a texture. I kind of like that look. It gives it a more painted look. It's not like not everything is perfectly smooth. And when I do his legs, you'll see I actually just do like lots of little dots and stripes. I don't do like smooth coats. So it really all depends on like what you're looking for your final paint job to look like.
Let me mic. There we go.
So you can see I left a real kind of obvious line there. Like I didn't try to blend it or smooth it. And when it dries, it'll dry pretty translucent, and then I'll just come back and do another layer on top of it. And then when it's all done, your eye will just kind of blend it all. Like there's no reason to go crazy with the blending. So this part takes a while. We're literally doing like really tiny layers, waiting about 10 to 20 seconds for it to dry, and then doing another one, and then repeat that like 100 times. All right, he's starting to look pretty good.
Nice.
Sometimes it can be hard to tell a difference, so it's helpful to pull up a model that you just did the wash on, and you can tell the highlighted guy much more contrast, way more readable. He'll look much better on the table. Because if you're just looking at this, you're like, well, that looks pretty good, right? I got lights and darks, but then you look at that and it looks much better. If my camera will ever focus, which I wouldn't bet on it.
It won't.
And my phone is casting a shadow on my model. There we go. Let's try that.
You still have the white.
White, yeah.
Steal a glob of it.
And so we continue.
There you go.
This is the part they skip when you watch people paint on YouTube. almost forgot to highlight his butt.
God, I highlighted the butt. I thought another stormtrooper. Lose one.
There we go. Nice contrast. Yeah, you can really tell the difference when they're like tabletop difference away. No, I've never painted one of these guys before.
Stormtroopers?
Yeah, I've only painted the clone troopers, so this will be interesting.
They are fairly similar. I noticed that there's a little bit less of the black undersuit under the stormtrooper armor than there are in the clones. So almost even easier. I like them. I noticed I didn't paint the underside of his gun. I'm gonna do that now. What base should we do for the rebels and stormtroopers?
I was gonna ask, I don't know, should we do the same as the other ones and keep them all like red and dusty, or should we do a different terrain?
I'm thinking a different terrain. It depends on what color camo we want to give to the rebels. Because we want to do green, we could do like a forest, do like a grassy terrain. We could do desert color and do like a desert.
Are these guys' backpacks supposed to be black? Or is it all white?
Black. But you can paint it whatever color you want.
I'll just go over that with black contrast.
Yeah, that'll look really good. I like the pauldron on the captains.
Yeah.
Or the lieutenant. Like, ooh. Makes me want to get those Phase 2 clone troopers so they have pauldrons.
Do they have models for that?
Mm-hmm. In the game, they have different stats between Phase 1 and Phase 2.
Oh, interesting.
But yeah, I like them. Yeah, I don't think I want to do the red dust. So far, normal clone troopers, we did Geonosis for the first set for their droids and clones. So we really like that one. But I would like to give them some diversity. We could do like a mud planet. We can just do mud.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I don't know yet. But we can get them all painted and decide. No, the stormtroopers will have white armor no matter where they are. So, but they also have models for like the shore troopers if you liked those ones from Rogue One, and they have Death Troopers, the all black ones.
Oh, I could paint some Death Troopers. That'd be good.
Yeah, the models for them look pretty good, but they also have a lot of the STL files for them too.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. My super suit. Steal the black real quick. Oh, that's German gray. Do I have the black? Do you have black, David?
No. I do not have the black.
There it is. It's like I had it the whole time. Use it.
Oh yeah. These tiny little friggin'.
Yeah, so I messed up the disguise visor pretty bad, but
The thing is
I can go back over it easy peasily with the white paint.
yeah, this is all paint. So anything you mess up, you can just paint over later. And two, the tiniest details are the ones you're least likely to see. So like this guy looks pretty good, but if I were to get a big splotch of something wrong, when he's sitting on the table, like that, you're never going to see his visor. Like, this is just so that when you pick him up and look at him, he looks pretty cool, which, to my camera, he looks like a blur.
Yeah, I'll see if I can. Yeah, so you can see where I put in an enamel onto his visor and it leaked out because it was a little too big. But I'll go back and fix that with white paint in a second.
The nice thing about these guys, too, is they're just black and white.
Yeah.
So, I mean, imagine trying to do all of this and think about, like, which colors you wanted. These guys are great for practicing, like, your painting techniques and stuff because, like, all I have to do is worry about how thin my white is. I don't have to worry about if the colors match or if this color is going to overlay in this color and make another weird color. So, these guys are actually pretty relaxing to paint because black and white, you got two colors and you just thin them out however much you want and put them on until they look good.
Yeah. His is a splotch everywhere, but we can fix that super easily.
Has anybody been keeping up with the Bad Batch?
Yeah, we loved the Bad Batch. In fact, those are probably the ones that we 3D print first because those were awesome. I've seen a lot of super good 3D print files for them.
Or if anyone's seen Rebels, we got Hera from Rebels painted.
Oh yeah, hair looks great. The pigs are fighting.
as tough as a guinea pig.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys can hear him squealing. But they do be squealing.
Okay, I think it's time to fix some of the black on this guy. You got the grim black?
Yes. Oh, well, thank you. Well, you have a good day, too.
What color are their holsters?
I think black.
Okay, that's what I thought. But
I painted his black. I think that looks pretty good.
Yeah, that does look good.
oh, I like his shoulder pad.
Yeah, I was saying the shoulder pad was super fun. Even though I kept mine just black.
No, the black looks good.
I'm thinking of all the other colors that they have.
They have like a yellow ochre
Yellow,
kind of
orange.
color.
You can kind of paint it whatever you want, like I said. I might try and paint some Legion colors on these guys. Because we already have 3 units of plain white clone troopers. So I may try and add one of these to a Legion.
They have white boots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I think this guy's done. At some point, you just gotta call it.
I think it looks great. Oh, my glasses.
I think it's time to order some pizza.
Pizza time. I'm game. Never be upset about pizza.
Did you use the panel liner on his visor?
Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
I think I might do that on this guy.
I also used it on his. You can't really tell. It's super dark.
Yeah,
And it gets
I
on
like
the
it.
recesses very well.
So this is actually something we were talking about.
This is not water based. This is enamel. So this is black pigment thinned with mineral spirits and a whole bunch of other chemicals. What that means is that it has really low surface tension. So it flows into cracks really well. I'm just gonna call you Jaeger because I don't know how to pronounce Io Jaeger. Hello. Hopefully you're having a good Thursday evening. Leo or Jaeger? Perfect.
Which do you prefer? That's good. So are we. Either is fine. All right, David. Which one do you want? You want Jaeger or Leo?
Let's still go with Jaeger.
All right, I'll go with Leo. We'll give him a variety, so it's a nice mixture for him. And thank you. We appreciate it.
We're doing some Star Wars minis for May the 4th. So far, I've got this Clone Trooper and this Stormtrooper.
Yep, same. I've got Clone, Storm.
Oh yeah, especially when you batch paint them like this, they go pretty quick.
Yeah. Also, these ones are only like 2 colors, so they're super easy. That's why
Yeah.
we really liked these Star Wars ones.
I think it's time for me to base these two guys, see if I can get them fully done tonight.
Nice.
You've been undercoating with Bugman's Glow?
I've been undercutting with black.
German gray it is.
German Gray did pretty good. Oh yeah, thank you guys for coming and watching. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I hope that I think it's Manic Games makes Star Wars Legion, and if they went into the Old Republic, that would be amazing. Like it'd be so awesome. I mean, yeah, we love the Clone Wars.
Yeah, Clone Wars is my favorite Star
Yeah.
Wars era.
We've got a bunch of B1 battle droids. You can't see them, but we need to do the bases on these two. But we've painted a bunch before today. And then we have some stormtroopers because we bought one of those today. And we have a bunch of clones because we love the Clone Wars.
Here's our his lightsaber's not done, but here's Obi-Wan Kenobi. He still needs a base. He needs his base done and his lightsaber done. And then I'm starting to like Rebels, the TV show too. And that's kind of getting me into like the Rebel after the Empire.
That started, the Galactic Civil War.
Yeah. So this is Hera from Rebels. I don't know how well that's focusing, but... Oh, actually, Jaeger, there is a guy on YouTube called MS Paints. It's kind of like MS Paint, like Microsoft Paints, but I think it stands for multiple sclerosis. He actually does videos specifically showing people how to paint who like can't hold a brush very well or who have really shaky hands. And he does a lot of techniques. It's kind of like a like how to still paint even if you have some sort of like disability or some condition that makes it so you can't hold a brush really well. Really, really cool guy, and his paint jobs look awesome. So if the thought of holding a really tiny brush and painting really tiny details is kind of scary to you, I would go, oh yeah, definitely check him out. He's cool. Yeah, definitely.
I'd love to see the Cthulhu model that you're working on.
Yeah.
Paint all over myself. You need me a paper towel?
Thirsty Agnes?
Oh yeah. Now that's Star Wars.
Yeah, those look great.
This guy just needs a base, and then he can be added to the army. Let's check on Obi-Wan.
Do you have the black? I do. It's like,
I have German gray. I have the panel liner though, if you need this.
no, I'm just doing the base on the rim on that one.
Oh yeah. I really like these Stormtrooper models.
Oh yeah, they look great.
I like how beefy they are.
I have no idea what color to do the base though.
Yeah, we gotta figure out how we want to do the rebels. We could do grass.
Grass would be fun.
Put the rebels in like camo. Shades of green.
Yeah, green would be very fun. I was gonna say we already have a couple tested greens that I like a lot. Yeah, grass would be fun. So we can paint the bases brown, or use the mug texture and just throw grass on it.
How many tufts do we have? Oh, we got a lot of tufts.
Yeah, we got plenty.
I gotta do this guy's room.
Let's do the black for a second.
Yeah, no, you can have it. I have achieved what I was trying to achieve. Oh, when Holdren comes back, we should ask him what his cosplay is.
Yeah, no, I
meant
thought
to
about that.
yeah, I meant to ask that, but I didn't.
I don't know if they'll be back before our stream's over. It's almost 9.
Yeah, but they said they were gonna post their Cthulhu in the Discord, so we can ask them.
Yeah, black rim, that looks good. Did you turn on some lo-fi?
Mm-mm. I didn't know how to do that.
We'll need to remember for next time.
Yeah, they just get silence and us talking. Next time I'll turn on some of
Everyone listen to their own music.
them.
We're not gonna risk copyright.
Just for now. That composer is pretty cool though.
Huh?
The composer that Rob recommended.
Composer?
The one that they.
Oh, yeah. The guy who makes music. Yeah, his stuff sounds really good. This is corkboard, by the way, for anyone who's wondering.
Oh yeah.
Makes great rocks, especially for Geonosis. How much was it? It's like a.
It's $10 for 3 giant squares of it. We
Yeah,
used
which-
like not even a quarter of it.
Yeah, we used like barely a corner, so that'll last us forever.
Yeah.
But that's what you'll see. Like this guy, the rocks on his base are pieces of cork that we just cut up. So when this finishes drying, I'll just come back and highlight some of the edges of the rock, just so you can kind of see it a little better, and then I think I might not even do his lightsaber. I think we're gonna cut his lightsaber off and use a piece of acrylic rod because those look so good. And his lightsaber's real bendy.
Yeah, I think the acrylic rod will look really good.
There's a bunch of other stuff I've been wanting to order from Green Stuff World anyway.
We can just place like a bulk order.
That's
at
what I'm
once.
because I don't think they have free shipping.
Yeah.
So we should just order everything we want. They're the ones who have the magnets real cheap.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should definitely get some of those.
I think he could actually use a little bit of a highlight.
I'm having some time if I want to go wider on this one's armor or just leave it like that.
Well, I think it looks good. Did you edge highlight his chest piece?
Oh, that's dry brush.
Oh, that looks awesome.
Yeah, that sounds like if I go wider, I might be able to leave that, but I don't know.
What did you use for dry brush? I just dry brushed. Where did he go? This guy came a little chalky.
I use this makeup brush.
Oh yeah.
Or that one. If you use this one and apply it like girls apply makeup, where it's like bop 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 bop, it's really smooth.
Really?
Yeah, try it.
So you get white on it?
Yeah, and I don't even take off all of it. You take off like a decent amount, yeah, and then try like, and then just like apply over the same spot a couple times.
Oh yeah, that's really nice.
Mm-hmm. I remember painting these guys' bases black this time. Now I'm like, right now. Or any color other than keeping their base white, because when we put the crackle on, the white shines through so easily.
Oh yeah, that works really well.
I liked it a lot.
It's almost like sponging it on.
Yeah, it's pretty much exactly what that is, actually. And it's pretty nice. I was fairly impressed. It was pretty smooth, too.
Yeah, that looks good. You have a surprising amount of control.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's quite as much contrast as you'll get with like the hand painted guy, but it's certainly a lot quicker.
Yeah, no, it's... Wait. stormtroopers, we can just paint the bases brown.
Yeah.
If we're gonna do grass, and just put grass on top.
Stuff on it. Yeah.
But we also have that mud that we can use.
Still have that song stuck in my head.
You always will.
Pretty much. All right, everybody. That is 9 o'clock for us.
So I think we're gonna call it there. But thanks for everybody who joined in and watched.
Oh yeah, thank you all.
Hopefully you had a good time having a chill Thursday night. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Well, I'm gonna put up our see you next time picture, and then we'll hang out for another minute or two and see if anyone's got any questions. And then we'll see you guys next week. I don't know which one of these is the see you next time one. Nice.
Nice first try.
I need to get the pictures from Rob and update them.
Yeah, these are pretty good. We'll have them ready for next time. Today we have.
I think we're gonna do the same time.
Yeah, about 6:37, because that should give me time to get home from work, even if I have to stay slightly bit late.
I think we're gonna do every Thursday though.
Yeah, every Thursday.
So if you just tune in Thursday night after 6:30ish, we'll be on.
And Sean, if you mean physically show up,
whenever
you want.
Yeah. Yeah, you know our door's unlocked. Oh yeah, that'd be fun. We'd show Sean how to paint. Walking through a mini on stream.
Yeah, these ones are super fun, Sean, and they're really, really easy.
Honestly, though, if we do slap chop, you could paint anything to a pretty good standard.
Yeah, I'll build some orcs for you for next week, and orcs are a great example of
they
slap
look
chop.
so good.
Oh yeah, I guess we can stop streaming. That was nice.
Thanks, Sean.
What'd Sean
He said great first stream.
say? Thank you.
All right, we're gonna sign off. Bye, everybody.